Hello, everybody. Gonna get started here. We're getting started on the back foot. I'm running today a couple of lists that I'm not incredibly feeling great about, but for clarity for the schedule, tomorrow is the beginning of the new week. It is the last week of the season, and I need to get through Conquest tickets. I have, right now, if we look here, 24 gold tickets and 34 silver tickets. I am never going to get through this stuff. But I would like to get through as much of it as I'm comfortable doing, and so today, even though I don't have a single list that I'm super feeling chuffed about, we're going to go through as many gold tickets as we feel like, with a couple of lists that I'm sort of feeling good about, and we're just going to kind of play it by ear. We'll be starting with my Blokey list, which features the post-nerf Angela, which I have no idea if I should be cutting, and if you do cut, then the whole archetype changes, but I don't think it's actually that hard of a nerf, given the nature of the list and why it runs low in the first place. Frostilicus, thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. So with a Loki list, you need a secondary win condition beyond just hoping for Loki for any number of reasons. And I have been most comfortable in the preceding months with the other half of that being an Angela, Kitty, Thena shell package, as it were. And it's been pretty good. I wouldn't say I have been setting the world on fire, but it's been good enough that I've been pretty comfortable with it. The list is super friggin' tight. And with the Angela nerf, I'm a little back-footed. I really do not know if the right approach is to go in a different direction, and if you do go in a different direction, the whole shell falls apart, and I gotta figure out, am I doing Devil Dinosaur stuff? I don't know. I do not have any sense. I've actually seen, yes, number one for sure. I've seen some people starting to just splash Loki in completely unrelated lists and doing the reverse, and then Loki becomes the backup plan. I kind of like that, but that's not super familiar to me. This is almost snappable, so I'm going to get Abby, or at least prevent my opponent. No, work that backwards. My opponent ain't getting Abby. I'm definitely getting Abby. My opponent, maybe not getting Abby. I'm definitely getting Abby. And I'm going to be able to guarantee a Loki on at least turn 5, if not earlier. This is almost a snap, but I have no idea. I do not over snapping at the beginning of Conquest matches with no information. I consider myself broadly favored against most decks in most situations. And so snapping can limit your options to win with just pure skill. Now that said, does that change anything? I am going to not snap, but oh, my opponent. Alright, great, I'll let him snap. Frostilicus, Ben Bro would be proud of every move that I make at every step. Oh, I see. My opponent running a destroy list. I see why he snapped. Well, Mobius is gonna mess him up a little bit. I'll go ahead and snap back. So this is maybe quote unquote a mistake. Snapping right there. That might telegraph that I'm about to throw Mobius, and he might have a zero-cost null that he wants to throw down, and would not have otherwise done that. But is now going to do that on the back of my snap, but this is kind of too lucrative an opportunity to not do. Alright, so... Hey, welcome, Patrick Hackett. I maybe have screwed myself up a little bit here. My opponent is definitely going to get White Hot Room, which I'm not super chuffed about. But I am going to be able to guarantee a Loki. Oh, and you know what? Yeah, just got to make sure that the last card that I play is the 3-cost card. Can I? Is there? I can do this. The alternative is this. I can do, I can tie for White Hot Room. This is actually made for play. If I do a little something like that, I think that's probably correct. Next turn, I will have 8 mana, which is enough to do a 3-cost into Blink and guarantee the Loki if I don't organically draw it. Yeah, we're going to do that. I do lose the Quinjet, which is a bit of a bummer. But I will have infinity mana as well.
I definitely need to change my underwear.
Notably, with 4 cubes on the line already, and it seems probably unlikely that either one of us is just going to bail, I would expect this to be the first and last match of this conquest. I'm either going to win it outright, or he's going to win it outright. That's fine either way. The purpose of this all is speed. I really need to burn through these tickets. So this is just wonderful. I'm going to be able to Coulson Blink, fill up my hand, guarantee the Loki. I'm doing this all in the left lane just in case I get some kind of Zola, and I want to do that in the right lane. I want to keep that clear. I probably am broadly favored here. I would have, if I had Quinjet still on the board, this would have been probably game, set, match. As it stands now, it really depends on what my Loki pulls right here. We want to see big cards, we want to see death, we want to see null.
Impressive.
We got both death and null. Yeah, I don't think I lose this.
You are mine.
Diet Pepsi and a wine glass. Patrick, this is cold brew coffee. And I have a story about this. I'm going to play this last turn, and then I'm going to tell you the story about drinking cold brew coffee out of this clear goblet, because it's compelling enough to be worth telling. Alright, I have 9 mana. Null getting played. Death getting played, that costs 0. What do I do with the other cards? I've got Killmonger, that's getting played because that will kill his whatever. So then that leaves Wolverine and Hulkbuster as the last cards. If I'm him, I might be interested in Zolaing the Venom, which this is going to beat. For the 2... I guess... something like... what is the most power I can put middle? I don't really want to do death middle. I think that this is the play that wins. What can he do? I'm not really sure. If I was a better player, I'd think about what he could do. Well, I believe I beat that middle. I just left outright. That is just a... unless X23 goes left. But I just win middle.
I definitely need to change my underwear.
Yeah, okay. We win. We're the best. Now, I used to run a company. I mean, I still run a company. But I ran a by employee count, a company that had, at its peak, 65 employees. This is relevant to the goblet and the cold brew coffee. We hope my opponent just leaves so I can just finish this anecdote, because it's very difficult for me to tell a story interestingly and not screw up horribly at the same time. And there's a very real risk of that happening here, even though I'm colossally ahead. I do not want to lose upwards of 5 matches in a row while telling a story and looking very foolish. Yeah, you guys do not know that this is cold brew coffee. Could it be Jägermeister? We don't know. Okay, my opponent not retreating. That's pretty disappointing. Unless he just quit. This could happen. Nope. Opponent just going for it. I have Loki. I kind of just want to. That gives him a pretty discounted death. Fine. Whatever. You know it. First of all, let me take a moment. So, hang on. Take a moment to take a moment. I do have a quote-unquote free retreat here before the stakes go up. And my opponent is doing that because he's going to have a discounted death. And it's too late. I've already let that collapse. This is me trying to talk and chew gum and losing at the same time. Whatever. I think because we're so early in it, I believe I have an additional free retreat before the end of the conquest. So, when I had 65 employees, we had dedicated in-house HR. Many small companies, they do. Yeah, there's your death. Hope you feel proud of yourself. They outsource HR. This actually makes a lot of sense for people. You use kind of HR as well, Mobius does a lot less with his death on the board, but I also don't want to clog up my own hand with Coulson before that goes back to Adelan. Fine, whatever. But we had a dedicated in-house person. And
Enough said, bud.
I do not like the taste of coffee. I think coffee tastes gross. That said, I really appreciate the kind of energy boost properties of coffee, and so I do drink cold brew whenever I need the juice. I guess we do a little Elsa Quinjet. Hope for. Actually, I guess we want Quinjet Elsa, just in case we get a blink and want to go that on 5. That's it. I'm probably cooked. My redraw did not work out super good here. 2 great notes in the chat. 1, cold brew is the most caffeinated. Hulk juice, yes, I agree. And I think it tastes the least worst. I think that this is an important, underrated feature. Like, cold brew, yeah, I'm cooked here. My opponent has me pretty dead to rights. I guess, is that more power than playing Snowguard left? I lose 3, but I get 4. I guess we're gonna do this. And second note, you should have just gotten into chewing cocaine plant leaves. I don't disagree. I think that was maybe a way to go. Yeah, my opponent is absolutely going to demolish me this game, and I probably should have retreated at the beginning, but I'm up 5-0. So I have an HR person. I'm drinking my cold brew coffee. I do not drink the whole can. I get my cold brew coffee from Costco in this 12 packs of cans, and 1 can is more than I care to drink. So I like to drink a set portion, a subset of that can. How can I possibly win this game? I don't think it's... Can I even... The most power I can add... is... Yeah, we just shipped this. This is just the most I could possibly do, and I'm not even going to think about it. Yeah, good for you. You beat the shit out of me. So... It's... When you have a can, and you want to drink the same amount every time, there's, I'm sure, many ways you can do that. But what I like to do is with a transparent glass, in this case that has a, go to the broadcast thing so you guys can see it. There's etching on this goblet. So I can pour my cold brew up to this bottom or top line and know exactly how much cold brew coffee I'm getting every single time. And so when I was running my company, 65 employees, I would join morning meetings and I would almost always be drinking cold brew coffee out of this goblet. And after doing this for some days, weeks, or even months, I was in a meeting with my HR person. I will snap that. Now, if he is Deadpool, I mean, it gets freaking huge, but my, yeah, okay. I have a separate note about snapping back. This just means my opponent has Deadpool. Not a huge problem. I can put Mobius down, and that's going to help control things. And I've got Loki. Whatever. We're going to come back to that. Oh, yeah. If he... That's the nuts. You're stupid. Destroy, draw Nico onto Shuri's lab with Deadpool in hand. I hope you're happy with yourself. We'll do this. I could turn off Shuri's lab. Doesn't matter. So, anyway, I am
What a game!
in a meeting months after having drank this coffee, and my HR person in a meeting, just offhandedly once, was like, "Oh, what kind of wine are you drinking?" Like, not accused, just like, "Oh, just kind of make conversation. What kind of wine are you drinking?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's cold brew coffee." And I thought, wait a minute, have you been my HR person for months, watching the boss slam wine in 9 a.m. meetings for days and weeks without saying anything? I felt like, oh my god, is this what everybody thinks? And I like went into meetings and I was like, "Hey guys, I'm just enjoying my cold brew coffee. Thanks for hanging out." So if you are a former employee of mine and you are hanging out here and you have been wondering what your alcoholic boss has been up to, I assure you, okay, I was going to talk about this.
I definitely
do not
need
like
to change my
opponent
underwear.
being so cavalier with X-23 with Space Throne on the board. I hope that this means for him that he does not have Killmonger, or maybe he's just playing it fast and loose. We'll see. Yes, no, that's absolutely true. And this is, by the way, Frostilicus, a great note for all the listeners out here. HR is not your friend. They are the friend of the boss, not the friend of you. That said, Frostilicus, if it was a particularly good HR person, they would have come to me and said something to the effect, quietly, privately, be like, "Hey, I noticed you're drinking wine. It's harder for me to do my job if you do that." But I didn't get that note. But your point is absolutely correct. So I think I want to do one of these. I want to get Mobius down, prevent death. I think and I also don't want to lose priority at any moment. Excuse me, I don't want to gain priority at any moment. I don't want his Killmonger to take out my Kitty Pryde. I think we're fine here. I will remain unprioritied. Or will I? I was not counting on a death block. That actually might screw up the plan a little bit. Yeah, I have gained priority here. So, here's some advanced tech. I am not going to play. I have to play it or else I'll lose the card. This is tough. I would love the Loki. Oh, you know what I can do? I can do... so talk all through my thoughts. If he is Killmonger and I play Kitty, I just lose the game because I lose my Kitty. So I do not want to do that. But I also can't Loki and not play Kitty because then I lose my 31 power thing. I could do something sneaky like Snowguard to turn off Shuri's lab here to give him off another double, but that gives him the ability to play onto Space Throne, and I love just having that lane for free. I believe that the right play might just be a Naked Blink. This is pretty tough. Or I guess it probably... I'm not super thrilled. What was the last card I played? I guess it was Kitty. So it's going to blink nothing. This is tough. All right. That...
I definitely need to change my underwear.
Screwed myself here. I outthought myself. I'm definitely going to win Space Throne. But he very intelligent. I could have seen this line coming, but I also... The Killmonger was such a natural thing to be afraid of. I am not going to be able to get... I could do something like... Like his Deadpool is just too big. There's just no... And And he has priority, so I can't turn it off. Yeah, that's rough. What I should have maybe considered doing was moving Jeff to play around both angles. If I had moved Jeff, I would have been able to, and played something left there, I would have been able to get priority, and then I would have been able to turn Shuri's Lab off the last turn, get the double. He doesn't get the double. As it stands now, there's just nothing that he just gets too colossal. That was hard to see. Where I got kind of hung up, I thought nobody would be foolish enough to throw X-23 down in that context with space thrown down, unless you also had Killmonger. And and then I was playing around Killmonger the whole game, and played myself right out of the game. That's okay. Yeah, Deadpool's having a bad gastrointestinal time of it. Separately, a thing that is very dumb, a thing that I would advise everyone to avoid doing, and my opponent did it here, and it's just a natural emotional thing to do. When your opponent snaps, as I did at the beginning of this match, I took it to the cap. An additional snap would have added nothing to the mixture. But the UI allows you to snap back. It doesn't change anything. It's just purely an emotional thing that you can just snap back. It doesn't change the outcome. And people do this all the time. And when they do that, it doesn't change the outcome of the game. All it does is give your opponent more information. So I snapped because I knew that I'd be able to grow my kitty friggin' huge, and mathematically he's unlikely to have Deadpool in his hand. Then my opponent snaps back. And
Opponent snapped.
this is my free retreat. I'm going to take my free retreat. My opponent snaps back. That tells me, clear as day, that my opponent has Deadpool in his hand, and now I have this information, and I can change my turn 1 play. Or it's not always turn 1, but I can change my play based on this information that he's given me for free. It didn't... Him snapping back at the first turn did not, and again, not this game, but the previous game, it didn't actually change the stakes. All it did was give me information for free, and people do this constantly. Do not do it. If your opponent snaps and your snapping back does not actually raise the stakes because of the limits of where the conquest points are at that moment, don't do it. Again, my opponent... This is a common complaint that people have playing Destroy, as I'm currently encountering. My Destroy opponent is getting some pretty favorable locations for hands. We'll see how it goes. But that said, we're now playing for 2 every game, so there is no retreating. We're just going to grind him to dust, or vice versa.
This land is always
That
changing.
probably... Well, we'll see. I don't have... Like, I'm not in love with my cards, but depending on his, he might not be in love with his cards. There's an argument for Thena here. I think Angela gives us more flexibility. That's pretty cool. That said, I now regret not playing Thena next turn. Previous turn, rather. Now, is there an argument to play Forge left to keep the board space going? I'm only going to have ultimately 4 spots to play with. I think that there's maybe an argument there. No, because next turn I'm probably going to want to keep the destruction going. We'll see. There's an argument to play Forge left there. I am countering it myself, but there's an argument to do it. You can also do fun things here with Snowguard Bear to fill up if they don't fill up. We'll see.
I definitely.
That's an extremely nerdy joke. There, I appreciate it. Thank you for the.
Hello.
Now, do we want to do that? I think we want to do that. Keep the destruction going. This Wolverine is nice because it gives me the opportunity to get to Rickety Bridge if I can get his X-23 off of Rickety Bridge. I still have the Snowguard Hawk of it all. He's now got a Jeff. Well, no, that's still gonna kill things. I'd like this very much, this X-23 to get off Rickety Bridge.
What a game!
Enough said, bub.
That's great. I'm happy about that. Now, here, ideally, I want to... not have priority. He might have his own Killmonger, which makes my... I mean, my Deadpool's going to be huge. But he might have Killmonger in hand. And I think I have to play Mobius. So the tragic thing that could happen here is Wolverine dies and goes middle, and I'm kind of full middle, but I have options. Alright, well, I've seen my opponent's whole deck, and we know that my opponent does not have...
I definitely need to change my underwear.
My opponent does not have Arnim Zola. And my opponent has priority. Okay, so I think I can automatically win this, and how I can do that is by filling up... Now, my opponent, if my opponent could have Killmonger. So, if my opponent does not have Killmonger, I'm going to get pretty huge on the right, and he's not going to be able to compete on power there. And Wolverine is going to stick to Rickety Bridge, and he's not going to be able to get larger there, unless weird Jeff moving X-23 killing stuff. The only way that I lose this is if my opponent plays his own Killmonger, which he had at the start of this game, and it kills my Snowguard, and Wolverine dies to Rickety Bridge, and then hops right, and I lose on points. That's the only permutation where this happens. Actually, and you know what? I could do this and kill Wolverine twice. Killmonger? Okay, okay. Is that Killmonger? Yeah! Get out of here! Why don't you give me all 3 lanes?
Enough said, bub. Enough said, bub.
Yes. Yes.
Victory.
I was likely going to win that, but there was a permutation where I was going to lose it, and I would be pretty sad. I will give my opponent a fist bump. I will attempt to... I've never done this before. Clip that? That might be too... We've gone too far. My first... That was good enough to see kind of clip thing. Whatever. We did it. We won a match 1 gold conquest. Very exciting. Let's take this opportunity to complete some missions here. And see what the shop has. That's a fun Jane Foster thing for gold. I do not know the value of that. It does not seem great. And oh man, like a bunch of new steampunk stuff. That's pretty sick. I have Hellfire Galaforge. If I didn't, that would probably be a buy. That's pretty great. And I have the Dan Hip Helicarrier, which is the best, but that's also pretty great. No border cosmetics. I haven't gotten a border cosmetic. I don't know if this is a mathematical anomaly, but in every 8-hour interval, since the introduction of cosmetic borders as an option for there, I have not seen one, and I'm kind of miffed about it. I do not want to upgrade any of those, and my free credits. Alright, let us continue the conquests. And separately, yeah. Bad at game. Me too, buddy. I feel you. Do not know. My opponent running not only America Chavez, but... Oh, no, that's from the hub. That's a hub America Chavez. I was going to be like, an unupgraded America Chavez. I mean, this person started playing the game 2 minutes ago. I have no idea what that means, but we continue. Is there an argument to me pixieing? I don't think so. I don't think I want a pixie. Well, that said, I could pixie Mobius. Is that worth doing? I don't think so, because I'll likely to Loki anyway. Assuming all goes to plan, but that's a funny permutation of events. Separately, I am running this Loki list, and it has exactly one flex spot. It has room for, and I'm not saying it's a perfect list, but this list as it exists, in my view, has one tech slot. It is a 3-drop tech card, which I'm currently running Mobius. I, historically, have been running Cosmo in that spot. Oh, I just took his Mockingbird. That's wonderful. I was going to maybe play Cosmo. To stop his Mockingbird, but here I've got my own. I think I maybe snap here. I don't think that he can add 5 power. I don't think that a deck that runs Mysterio can add 5 power unless he, like, it's Sasquatch. You know?
Snap.
And it's possible that if a snap back might mean Sasquatch.
Victory.
Some kind of we'll call it advanced meta business. No, I don't love that. I don't love that. I'll do Quinjet and hope Athena comes down, I guess. I'm gonna do Snowguard and hope for one of the beasts.
Opponents.
I don't love that snap. I don't love my hand. I'm getting out of here.
Escape.
Both this game here and the last game introduce a topic that I am pretty interested in that I do not see a ton of discourse on. And this is not going to be the last time I talk about it. Is deciphering your opponent's snap. On the first 3 turns, an opponent's snap could mean many different things. One of the things that an opponent's snap could mean, and might again, like this is similar vibes to the last one of just getting a card for free. I am not going to retreat here. I think there is an argument to retreat here, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, did my opponent snap turn 1? Did he do that because he likes the location? Maybe he is, and maybe he's likes Grand Central. Now, that said, Mobius pretty cool for me. I almost want to snap back at him. But I'm not going to do that. You know what? I am going to do that. This is maybe ill-advised. But I think that a big part of my opponent's strength is the ability to throw down a Mockingbird or a Sasquatch, and I think that just having a Mobius down with Utopia on the board is just going to help me out. Yeah, this probably means he would like to play a Mockingbird or Sasquatch next turn, and he ain't going to get to do that. Anyway, he snapped on the first turn. Did that mean that he liked his hand? Did that mean that he liked Do I just throw down the naked Loki? I think I kind of do. Did he like... his hand? Does he just feel powerful in this matchup? What did that snap mean? That's something you have to think about. So I could Loki this turn, or what I could do is grow Athena over several turns, including next turn. So that's going to give me another 6 power on that. I think I like that, and I'm in no particular hurry to get the Loki down. So I'm going to do that. Can do we want to do... Probably the kitty is an okay candidate to destroy. What is it? I mean, no, I don't... that's premature. I do not need to destroy a card just yet. I will have, presumably, some good options from here as a result of this Loki. He got my Angela. Cersei is probably what I'm going to end up doing left. Unless the Cersei gets pulled. Could do a little something like... I'm a little... maybe I'm playing a little bit too... I'm concernedly about... Cersei being the one that gets pulled down to earth. I think this is the play. Grow the Athena one additional time. I have a lot of options next turn. Yeah, Mockingbird, good for you, buddy. I'm feeling pretty strong. Can't think of what I would hate the most to come down Grand Central. It doesn't seem likely that there's a ton of things that he would. I didn't love that. Welcome, Catmanda Dinosaur. Oh, so I'm absolutely colossal left. I was concerned about what's going to happen right. And it ain't no big thing. Does his deck run Shang-Chi? I don't think that it does. How can he possibly get bigger than me there? So, in regards to destroying cards, we can do that. We can do... yeah, if he just throws left, can I... like, what am I afraid of? How big can he get? Is it just like this? Do I just want to... maybe that's the play. Do something like this. I think that this is probably the play that wins the game. Okay. And when play that wins the game, it was unlikely that my opponent would stay there and then lose. If he stayed, he had some kind of cool Shadow King, and I don't even know if Shadow King wins, honestly, in that context. Get huge, left somehow, tech that I wasn't seeing. So 4 was probably the most cubes I was going to get in that context, but I'm still happy to win it. Okay. That one thing kind of favors me. We'll see how that continues, how that plays out. So, yeah, last game, I don't know why he snapped on turn 1. I guess he just had Mysterio Mockingbird, and he's like, that's enough. Well, this broadly favors me. We'll see what the last location is, depending on... Is that a Mockingbird? No. I am not so strong that I feel comfortable snapping, but in this broad context, he's not going to be able to do it probably... God damn it. I don't love that. So I can do...
Opponent snapped.
Yeah, he kind of likes that. I could do a Naked Coulson, or I could do Cable Kitty. I kind of like Cable Kitty more. There's an argument to just leaving here. I guess this just means he's going to play a Mockingbird, and he thinks that's going to be sufficiently powerful. I don't think leaving here is correct. I think that I do this. And further, I think I play Cable there. Just to keep the options open. Is this just a Mockingbird? Oh. Yeah, okay. I don't overly hate losing my Quinjet. I would not wanted to have lost my Quinjet, but who cares? There's my Loki, great. I'm going to do... Mobius Kitty. There's an argument to just Lokiing now, delaying it a turn. Oh no, because we're swapping hands on 6. Shoot. I think I just Loki now, and then I can dump the hand. If we did not have Mindscape down, I would Mobius now to stop any kind of Mockingbird, Sasquatch death shenanigans. Deck probably runs death if he's doing. Oh, is that? Yeah, he's probably running death. But as it stands, I need to get my hand empty by turn 6, so we're going to do this. And we're also going to put Loki left. Okay, don't love this. We could do a little something like... Oh, man. I guess Killmonger first. No harm, no foul. That, I think, is the best. And then I'm giving him a single Agent Coulson. Am I worried about a Annihilus? I don't think so. If he Annihiluses, so be it. He's got a Coulson. And I've got a free Mockingbird. And I'm at 9 power here. So I can probably... win this lane. If I do that, I'm adding 6 and going to 18. He can go Coulson and also go to 18. And what if I really wanted to get sassy with it, I could, the thing is, I could tie middle by moving, by doing this. Maybe this is the better play. And I'm actually... Well, no, because he's only adding 1 there. So I guess I'm worried about him drawing the 1 card he's drawn being... Well, if he's only playing 1 card... then I think that this is the right move. And then if it's Cersei, we can try and win on points. No, we win. I wonder if he forgot I could move Jeff. That's a weird stay on his part. But now we are in a commanding position, yet again, on the back of my superior Loki play, and just overall good vibes. And they are out of here. Very good, very good, feeling good. Complete that mission. We're now clear on missions. That feels good. Fun bit of stuff here. I've actually got so many season caches that I've yet to open. I'm waiting. I'm so excited for Orisham tomorrow. And I like to do all of these caches and what's it called? Mystery variants. I don't open any of that stuff until the last week. Just kind of as a fun delayed gratification kind of thing. All right, let's get into the final gold conquest. We'll see about a game high. What is my... Well, I'm still a little bit higher. His high collection level, pretty nice. So far... this... Loki's feeling okay. I have gone back and forth this season about the viability and strength of Loki, and with the Angela nerf, I wasn't quite sure how hard or not that would hit this deck. It's working out to be fine so far. Not a ton of data. And the Mobius in the flex spot over Cosmo so far has proven to be significantly more useful. So I think I'm probably going to keep doing that. It's just a matter of whether I keep using this archetype in its entirety after tomorrow. I expect Orisham's going to come out, and we are going to see exactly half of the player base, the serious player base, doing weird Orisham lists that are just who knows. And the other half doing Darkhawk lists. And I don't know if my Loki is going to survive in that context, or maybe even be really, really good. So now here we are in the final gold thing. And this location with this hand kind of favors me. I'm going to be able to get Jeff bigger. I've got Loki in hand. This is maybe Cavalier, but I'm going to snap.
Oh, snap.
I don't want them to snap back, and I don't know if I want them to leave. But I feel like broadly I'm in a above average position here, and I don't overly like snapping early in conquests, but this just feels correct to me in a way that I'm having trouble finding the language for. Can do... Yeah, Angela seems good. Angela. Also a pretty good looking Angela. That changes the calculus a little bit. I think we want to do... Question is, am I continuing to grow Angela and Kitty, or do I want to get Quinjet down? I think I can maybe afford to do a turn 5 Loki here. My opponent might also be running a Loki list with the same shell. Hard to say. This broadly feels pretty good. I will not getting a Quinjet down with this plan, but I'm not going to have a ton of his cards in my hand anyway. I'm not super chuffed if he's going to throw down a Shang-Chi on 5, which will cook me. That Nocturne probably means he's going to move it to New York. That That said, I'm not overly concerned about that. Because I'm going to have a big old Jeff and an even bigger Kitty Pryde. But if I get a snap back here, that definitely means Shang-Chi and I leave. As it stands right now, I think I'm in a better position than him. Or her. Or them. No, we saw that Nocturne coming. It's not a world ship or something. That's fine. Yeah, I feel pretty good. What I'm thinking about doing. How big is Sage? That's 4, 13, 6, 12, 5. So this is just a devastating amount of power, right? He can move the Jeff and play 2 cards. The question is, do I want to do something like move Jeff and get one of this, and that would be big enough. And fortunately, he has priority. I think that this is maybe the play. I can't see. Well, so he can go to 11, and if he plays 2 cards, so one of them would be. I would be 11, 13. Maybe I don't. Maybe this is enough. I think we do this. And I've already snapped. Oh, shit, I didn't see that coming. With the Ravonna, I definitely should have, too. Yeah, you know what I should have done was move Jeff left. Yeah, that didn't occur to me that he just, well, could get in so big left and wouldn't have played anything right, but that makes sense in hindsight. My opponent played that well, and I was capable of beating it if I was thinking 1.5 levels deeper. Not a problem. Yeah, I have not seen this Ravonna Iron Man list as much, but I think it is pretty popular. Just I have not seen it is not an excuse for not seeing it coming. I think I want to... This is something I like doing. This is a little risky if that gets destroyed. Okay. Athena not getting destroyed there is huge. Sure would like a cable or something here. That's going to be great too. Is this a snap? I think this might be a snap because I can just start growing Kitty. And or play Blink on 5 to guarantee a Loki. And he probably isn't in a great spot. We'll see. So we have a couple lines here. I can do Elsa Kitty and start growing the Kitty and growing the Athena, which actually might be the right play. But then Blink on 5 into Loki isn't an option. I think I kind of like this. we instead want this? What are we trying to stop? A Mockingbird? I mean, it seems unlikely that he's going to play Ravona into something. Maybe he would. Try this and really hope that the Mobius doesn't die. Fuck. Now that's tough, because if he does Iron Man left, I feel kind of cooked. If he does Iron Man left, he's at 7. This actually is at... Let's think about this. He's at 7. This is currently at 4, and we'll go to 5. So he'd be at 12, he'd be at 24. That's 15 plus 3 is 18. Yeah, I kind of like just tossing left. Well, I could do that. Oh. The argument is, do I fully toss left, or... I maybe kind of like that. And then is the 4 power bear worth the -3 on her? I think so. I think we just go for this. Don't be blank. Yes! We win. Yeah, I did need to play the bear. That sequence of events worked out really well. Woo! I was right that he would go hard to the pink left. I did not realize exactly how hard he would go left. Yeah, you know, there's a better way to play. I also, the thing, I like what people call playing different ways, lives, like you're in a race. I would always talk about various decks. I'm playing this deck as opposed to this deck as opposed to this deck. And people were talking about lists. Like, oh, he's doing that list or he's doing that list. And it hit my ear wrong. It hit my ear in a way that was just obnoxious. Hey, take it easy, Tyler. I hope you have a great lunch, and I appreciate the sentiment. May your proverbial marbles be better than their proverbial marbles. And so anyway, they would use list, and it sounded dumb. I did not like it. And then, how do I want to do this? I guess probably. And then I kind of started getting a little bit more familiar with, like, you can have a deck archetype. Call it, in this case, Loki. But then you've got different kind of lists within that. You've got, so this feels, hang on, I need to focus on this. This is kind of challenging here. This feels like I can get pretty nuts. I'm adding a ton of cards to my hand. I'm going to be able to grow the Athena next turn. That said, he's got 2 Ravonas down, and that doesn't feel awesome. Like he could do Iron Man middle into stuff. But I'm going to do this. Because double Quinjet gives me a lot of juice for a turn 6 explosion. Anyway, when you got a Loki deck, it can vary from many other different Loki decks, kind of with different, as we say, lists, in a way that, okay, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. I like... Well, I can't play Mobius. We just have to grip the Thena and rip the Thena. And list makes sense. Like, he's running a Loki, like this Loki list, or this tribunal list. They're different things, and it's just, yeah, one of those things with lines. Don't be like, don't have... Yeah, that's fine. So now what we want, at minimum, is Iron Man. Iron Man sure would be great. Yeah, there we go. So now he's got some pretty big Sage busted stuff. The question is, where is he going to put all of this power? I could do something like this. But that said, if he Iron Man's middle, I'm just super cooked. Would he Iron Man middle? How many cards does he have in his hand? Yeah, this is tough. He could do a lot of different interesting things. I think this is my best shot. My opponent has played this very well and has a lot of things that he can do that beat me here, but I think that this gives me the best opportunity to win. A single Iron Man middle cooks me, but I don't think that's a terribly easy line for him to find. Oh my god.
I am Iron Man.
The real one wasn't even... Yeah, so if I just Sasquatch left and kept the Jeff there, would that have been an even enough power? 13? No, I would have been lost. I would have lost either way. I was just mathematically busted. Well, his Sage would have been smaller. Yeah, the Blink didn't add a ton of power. Yeah, that was hard. I do not know exactly the right line leading up to that. Maybe just you can't beat Sage in cloning Vats no matter what. Maybe that's the lesson to take away from that. But I'm not in a great spot, and my opponent has played well enough that it's hard to be too mad about it. I like my opponent's list, just the kind of Ravonna stuff. And, yeah, this is... I do have, I think, a free retreat here, but Mobius on 3 feels pretty good. Increasingly realizing that his list, maybe it's the sort of thing where I should not have gambled until I had Mobius in hand at all. Do know. You play, you learn. We'll do Athena there. I'm guessing this is going to be... Oh, no, I was wrong. I was guessing a... shoot, what do you call it? Mysterio... Mockingbird situation. That's a bummer.
Wakanda forever!
Not a huge bummer. That's great. We love seeing that right now. Do I want to play that on Baxter Builder? I think probably not. So we have a couple of options here. I could just try and... I could just super throw. Maybe that's the play, and I don't want to get too cute with it. So, Quantum Realm is turned off, and I can do stuff like Sasquatch over here. But, you know, frankly, so can he. I think that probably the right play is... a little something like this. He did the same thing, and that's fine. I feel pretty confident in my ability to get over the top of all of this. Do something like this. Fun fact, you don't want to morph in the final position of with an Elsa thing, because it does not get the Elsa buff. Now, the question I'm kind of noodling here is, do I want to maybe go harder right, because maybe he wants to do that, seeing how big I am? I think that this is probably correct. He's got 3 cards in his hand. What am I afraid of here? Yep, he cooked me. He got me.
Iron Man.
My opponent played that super well. I could have gotten bigger there, but that would have been a hard line to find, I think. That's good. My opponent played that well. Let us go again. Yeah, I like my opponent's list. The tragedy is I don't have Nocturne, I don't have Sage, and that's kind of important for that list. Yeah, there was a couple situations I could have done. But the big takeaway there is really, I think Mobius screws him up. I think that that's probably something to really, really think about. Do I want to... Like, how hard do we want to go here? I could do Angela into Athena, Kitty, and just try and get friggin' huge middle. I think maybe that's the play. What I could do is... There's almost no deck that can beat me after... that can beat Kiln. Take Kiln from me. In this situation, I just might be going a little bit too hard. We'll see. I could do something like this. Or rather, something like this. Yeah, I kind of like that more. Ah. Yep, so, couple options here. I have priority. I'm going to be pretty bummed if my opponent Killmonger's here, but I don't think my opponent is going to Killmonger here. And I can do stuff like, I guess the question is, do I want to Elsa? And then... I think that that's probably the right play. And then next turn I can do Mobius into Jeff middle as I need.
Enough said, bub.
Okay, really glad that
What a
Wolverine did not
game!
go middle, because then that means that I would be pretty challenged to overcome that. As it stands, feeling pretty good about something like this.
Opponent snapped.
Okay, what does that mean? He's got Null right now. He could play Null. On account of the extra mana that he's got. But he can't do any... I don't like leaving here. This might just breed that he thinks that he can... that he's bigger middle, and he's not. That said, Wolverine could again go middle, and that's a bummer. Okay, we like that.
What a game!
He does not have an extra mana. And I've cooked his death possibilities. So I can't move Jeff. I think I have to go right here. What is this? That would move the Mobius. That actually adds power. Mobius would become Loki, which is simply more power. I think that this is the right play. Yeah, my opponent was counting on probably as a free death in hand and was thinking that he would be able to win middle. Neither of those are true, and my opponent was true. I'm feeling neither good nor bad about this. It is always good when a Destroy deck does not play a 1-drop on 1. We love that. And that feels bad. Now the best... Oh, that's kind of okay. That's almost bad. Okay. The best thing I would like to see is Agent Coulson. If I do Agent Coulson... If I get, excuse me, Agent Coulson... Mobius is also okay. The thing is just now a blink. By doing this, by playing 3-drop last on turn 4, this guarantees a blink on 5 to turn my 3-drop into Loki, which is exactly what I want. This is maybe almost snappable.
Snap.
The kind of tragedy, as it were, is with this line, assuming I stick with it, and I probably will, Mobius goes away. And my opponent then will be free to play a death, but then maybe I have a death. We'll see how that goes. We don't love the Hulkbuster going on the Deadpool, but he's playing slow. This is not ideal for him. So I'm getting 4 of his cards. Hopefully that's enough to... Death is a good one. But he is getting a copy of his Venom.
Impressive.
I definitely need to change my underwear.
So he's got
Rest in
a
peace.
big ol' Deadpool. Big ol' Venom. No extra mana. This card's powers. so we can do something like...
Hello.
I don't know if this is enough to win. He can get pretty... If he wants to, he can just go Venom over here, Deadpool over here. He's got a death. This is maybe even a leave, honestly. He's got 6 cards in his hand. I don't feel like I'm beating very much. Well, I guess I have 9 power over here, so I would be adding 3 plus 2. There's an argument to leave, but I'm not going to. Wait, the thinking then is, do I could do something like, Ah! Yeah! Alright, my opponent had the wrong cards. Because of the Nico spell, doubling it after Elsa is just is more efficient. But I did not know if that would be big enough to beat what he was playing. That said, he retreated, I guess. It's a good sign for my opponent. My opponent had so many good cards in his hand. And I'm just gonna snap here because I've got Loki in my hand. Okay, we're playing for 4. Don't quite know what that means. But I'm going to have a big old Loki hand, and my opponent's feeling his Wheaties. I guess that means probably a Deadpool or Nico into Deadpool or just some optimal curve. Keep it going. There's a real argument to playing Cable right. I'm not going to do that. Get a nice rock. Oh, X23. That's cool. Doesn't have one of those. Sure. Elsa sounds great. So now his Deadpool is 6 power.
What a
Be
game!
advised. Hoping for the best here. That's pretty good. That's... Yeah! Ha! Oh! I mean, it feels bad. I mean, it feels good. It feels bad. Let's go over there. Clip that. I think Loki here, pretty great. Yeah. Yeah, that's all it can be. My opponent got very unlucky. I got a lovely X-Mansion card. He got just a devastating X-Mansion card. And then I got a pretty big-handed Loki on 4. What can my opponent do? He retreats. I think we actually might call it there. This has been a lot of fun, and I want to thank everybody for hanging out. But all of my gobleted cold brew coffee is beginning to get to me. We're going to do this again soon. We actually will probably go again tonight. I imagine I'm going to be back on it pretty soon, and I can see that being tonight. What is my opponent? Yeah, my opponent's pretty good. This is awesome. Thank you all for hanging out. If you're watching the VOD, thank you for watching the VOD. We're going to keep doing this in the coming days, weeks, months, and we'll see you again soon.